I've 3 must-sees to recommend outside of Dublin. So I need to be clear from the start. These 3 recommendations come from my recent road trip to Ireland. I've been to loads of other great places like the Giant's Causeway, like the Titanic experience, but these 3 come from the road trip I made recently. The first I'd like to recommend is King John's Castle in the centre of Limerick. The first thing I'd recommend before going in the castle itself is take a walk across the Thomond Bridge on the Shannon. Turn round and have a look at the castle. It'll give you a real sense of its place in the geography. When you pay for your ticket and go into the castle, the actual first thing you'll do will be to go through an exhibition which charts the last 800 years history of the castle. It's very well planned, very modern, really brings alive the history. You then go through some of the foundations and up into the castle. One of the things you can't fail to miss while being in the castle is that parts of it are missing. They were damaged and destroyed during the 1642 Siege of Limerick. It, though, doesn't detract from the time you'll spend there. The history of the castle continues to be brought alive as you walk around by large screens on which actors play key characters from its history. Make sure, though, you go right to the highest point of the castle. It gives you these fantastic views across the city and the countryside. Before we move on to my second recommendation, let me know in the comment section below, somewhere down there, where you've been in Ireland that you would recommend. Now, though, onto the Cliffs of Moher. I hope that's the right pronunciation. Personally, I drove to the cliffs from Galway, which gave me a chance to take in these fantastic views of the Irish countryside. There is a large purpose-built car park near the cliffs, and the walk is about 10 minutes to take in the views. You'll go past some shops and a visitor centre on the way. You'll then head towards the cliffs themselves for this fantastic view. But don't just settle for that. To your right, there's another short walk up some steps and a chance for an even better view of the cliffs. Then head up the O'Brien Tower for the best views of the cliffs, the surrounding countryside and the Atlantic. I made my trip to the cliffs as part of a journey from Central Ireland via Galway. You can see a film of that elsewhere on this channel. If you have the time, there are plenty of walks around the area. However, if you're short of time, I reckon 2 hours is enough to do the cliffs. Before we move on to my favourite place from this trip, I'd really appreciate a like on this video, a subscribe to the channel, a few more places to go in the future, including crossing by train and by car at night, one of the modern wonders of the world, and we're also going to go to a Shakespearean castle. Right then, number 3 on the list is the Rock of Cashel. It's just over 2 hours from Dublin and a little over an hour from both Cork and Limerick. As you might expect from the name, it's on a rocky hill above the town. Once you're inside, you can take in some fantastic views of the surrounding countryside, which can leave you in little doubt as to why through history this site was so important. You can take a tour of the site. Sometimes I wouldn't recommend this type of thing, but in this case, I certainly would. Our guide was brilliant, brought alive the history of the Rock of Cashel. You'll get to go through the cathedral, past the round tower, and look around the site. But if you want to go to Cormac's Chapel, you need to plan ahead. You need to go online and book well before you're going. The Rock of Cashel is 100% worth your time and effort to go and visit it. I really enjoyed my time there and I can't recommend it highly enough. So that's it for my Ireland season. If you've missed any of the videos, they're available on the channel. Next up, I'm heading to one of the modern wonders of the world. I'm going across by foot and train and then coming back at night, yes, at night, in the car.